Okay.
All right, we're I think we're online now. Um, but I
So we're like live.
yeah, I need to it's an unlisted video, so I need to post the link in general really quick. Um, I'm sorry. This is actually the first time that
Okay.
I've actually done one of these. So some of the other moderators had a lot of things come up at the last at the like today, so they couldn't do it do like the AMA.
You cut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Um,
don't know if it's my internet or your internet. Maybe I spoke too soon and like I messed up.
hold on. Let me I could probably end a few of these things, and that would probably. All right. Am I streaming fine now? Everything is. Oh crap! I spoke too soon.
Hmm. So it's internet. It's not mine.
Yeah, it's my
I,
end.
I
I'm
don't
really
have
sorry.
to way over there and mess with cables. So, okay. As long as it's like not me.
Yeah. So we're streaming right now. So I'll start off by asking a few questions. Um. Hold on. Let me open. I guess we'll start off by I'll ask what is it what is hold on let me minimize Discord. I have I'm frozen up right now. I can see it. Um.
I
So
can
tell us
kind of hear you, but
right.
sometimes it's okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're One American News reporter, right?
No, no,
No?
I'm not. No. So I guess this is a good time to find that out. But actually, I just do. So I'm not tied up with any single outlet. I do writing work for publications. I do appearances, commentary, and a
Right.
lot of investigations. But sort of what I do is on my own. Um,
Oh,
so a little bit about me. I'm originally from Brazil. And one of the things that happened in my life was that my mother, she was an attorney for the what they would consider here the Republican Party. Um, so when the left took over, she was pretty much politically persecuted. And I
yeah.
understood that working as your full-time job in politics and doing all of this is a very difficult way to survive because at any time somebody can do something to you that can change, that can end your career, whatever. So I wanted to be self-sufficient despite of so I have a career, I have a degree, I have all of that, but all of those things only help me in doing what it is that I consider to be a hobby or sort of like a passion, which is
Right.
journalism, some lowball investigations. Like it depends. It depends.
Right. I saw
Um,
oh,
Sometimes it gets really crazy. Sometimes it doesn't. Go ahead.
I saw the article pinned on your Twitter bio. It
Mm-hmm.
was about Brazil and all of the things. I think I'll pin it in the video so that more people have access to it. I'll pin your Twitter handle
That
and
would be cool.
article. Right. Um, Fantastic. I guess we'll get right into some of the questions.
Why do I
Um,
look so fat? Like I didn't look this fat before when we
you
weren't
don't look
live,
fat.
and I feel like
You look
I'm
fine.
so obsessed with my banks. I just got banks, so you're gonna see me like messing with them every 5 seconds. Um, but anyway, go ahead.
So I'll get into some of the questions. What do you think about Elon Musk buying Twitter? Like some of the stuff that's been going on.
I haven't had too much opportunity to look into that just because I feel like there's a lot of people doing that already. Um, I do have some, knowledge with investing and doing business and all of those things. So what I find is that it's sort of like to me, FU money, like how do you purchase all of this shares of Twitter and
Right,
then next thing you know you're putting out publicly um, you know um, a sell off to the company, but you know that there's a high possibility that they're not going to accept, and them not accepting is going to be bad for the company because all of your shares are going to be worth way less. So um,
right,
it's sort of like he just threw that money down the drain to expose that the fact that a lot of these corporations they just try to work with sort of
right,
like a political mindset and not really a business mindset, which is why the Twitter stocks were like stagnant for 9 years. They weren't moving because
right.
they didn't care about the shareholders.
Yeah,
So he sort of exposed that, and I hope that this is something that can be done for other company. Facebook, we're seeing Netflix go down like 36, 39%.
yeah. I saw that.
Um, so it's to me, it's exciting. I'm glad that he has this FU money to throw around.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it seemed like he was sort of exposing Twitter for what it was and exposing the establishment for that matter. Um,
Hmm.
so I scrolled through some of your Twitter timeline, and I have another question. I'd like to. Um, what is it like being um what how would you describe your America First alignment?
Um, I think it's sort of like gotten much more serious
Right.
in the past years because when I first came into this country, I had
Mhm.
a very, I guess, naive belief of how the political system worked.
Right.
And I was sort of like, we need to listen to what these guys want to say because we need to work together, we need to meet in the middle, and then kumbaya.
Yeah.
But the reality is, they don't really want to kumbaya, and
Right.
there's only so many punches that you can take before you start punching back. So um, it's just very, very. I hate to say nationalist because there's a bad connotation behind it, but I just want us to focus on our country first, and we haven't done that
Yeah. Yeah.
a long for years. But even though he was the president, so many people were working against him in Congress and Senate. He wasn't able to do a lot of what he wanted to do. So
Hmm.
um, our education is terrible. It's just sort of like a whole corporate type of state where everything works in favor of big corporations, like our healthcare system. Um,
Right.
Everything's sold out to these people. So we have a lot that we need to fix, and we need to focus on what we're doing here.
So I guess that sort of leads into my next question. So what do you think about anarchy in general and sort of the Federal Reserve?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
not really familiar with.
Hmm.
the whole ideology,
Right.
but I've always considered myself to be sort of like pulled towards anarchy in a way that I thought it was like communism was sort of like an utopia from socialism, right?
Yeah.
So to me, anarchy was like an utopia that could never be achieved. But nowadays, I feel like it's sort of like the only way out. Like we
Right.
don't have anything else that's gonna work to clean up our country unless we decide to part ways with our belief that our institutional beliefs that we need government to survive, or we need
Right.
the survival. We need central banking to survive, which is why I'm so outspoken about cryptocurrency because,
Yeah.
and one of the things that I do have a big problem with, a lot of these companies, they're trying to make cryptocurrency our current centralized system is. So we have a lot of like all these exchanges, right? Whenever you go try to add your money to a certain exchange, you have to get verified through KYC. So you're doing like I did this with Binance. It was such a long, like week long process, and it sort of like videos of your face to be scanned, to submit your passport. You have to submit this and that, and I don't know how well that data. Um, I don't know a lot of services here that thrive over just purchasing our information. Like I got an
Right.
Amazon credit card because they were like, if you get this Amazon card, we're gonna give you $100 for as a gift, whatever. I'm like, great. And
Right.
then the card house, and of course, I'm reading through the terms of usage, and it's like it's from Chase, and it's like Chase is gonna sell your information, is gonna do this, so you gotta like opt out. And to me, I just wanted an Amazon credit card. Now I'm in bed with Chase Bank, and they're selling my
Right.
address, my name, my phone
Yeah.
number. Like, what is this?
Yeah. It seems a lot like
They're
the.
just like they're building a profile of
Hmm.
you.
Yeah. It seems like we're
You're
becoming
just
more
being
like
tracked.
yeah. Um.
Every
It's.
aspect of your life, all of your habits, what you
Mhm.
do, where you go, where you don't go, and it sort of like creates also like if you think about the concept of that this company called Clearview. um I'm not sure if you or your viewers are familiar with, but they basically want to create sort of like a virtual representation of who you are. So to do that, they
Yeah.
would do like not only they would be as invasive as they can to your person, but they will also do that with your friends. So like how sometimes you're talking to somebody and you say something, and then next thing you know you got on your phone about that thing, you're like, is my phone listening to me, whatever.
Hmm.
It's because likely your friend was searching it because your friend has you in its contacts or whatever. Then now you're linked to that sort of it's like a
Right.
huge and Snowden also exposed that in
Yeah.
his work. So it's scary, and I think there's no way out of it other than to say F it.
Yeah, and like it seems like there's no other way to do anything other than to just completely go off the grid. Like if you're tired of being scammed by companies and like maybe some telephone scammers like from a foreign country or something, the only option is to just like completely just go off the grid, right? Like it's the same sort of business, but it's just in a different in a different setting, right? Like just sign here. Um,
Yeah, but I don't really know to what extent we can go off the grid as much
right.
anymore.
Yeah.
because it's like you go do like even just getting the credit card, my my stuff was my information. The company who runs the electric is doing what they're doing with my data. I don't know the grocery store what they're doing with my data. So it's like you can only hide so far. And
Right.
like right now, I pay services that delete my data online, but these companies, they're sneaky. So like
Yeah.
I submit a request to have my data deleted, and they delete from the system, which means next month when they receive another batch of data, they're going to create another new profile of me. So I'm going to have to go back and
Right.
delete it again. And this is a constant effort of trying to fight these people.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. All right. So I have hold on, another question. So what do you think about here's a viewer question. What do you think about um the uh the Zoomer and the millennial philosophy, so to speak?
Like how they go about life,
Yeah.
how they see
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, how they do things. Yeah. It was from our YouTube channel. Somebody asked a question, so I'm
I like the way that Zoomers think better because I think millennials were still very conditioned
right.
from our parents. Like we have to go to school, we have to get a 4-year degree, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to, so we have to acquire all sorts of that, and we have to like,
Yeah.
so I think we're still used to the way things were back in the day, and we're not as savage. But
Yeah.
Gen Z, they can be as savage as if as they go to the right or to the left. So I like this sort of high energy attitude. I think millennials should have that more instead of just trying to work through the system. The things that when you try to fix the system from inside the system, you hide the system. So as you join in with the system to try to disrupt it,
Hmm?
your interests become, the same system to a certain extent. And so
Right.
you're never going to fully pull the plug because you're not part of it. So it
Right.
has to be, in my opinion, sort of like a big step has to be taken. And I don't really have what it takes to do that, what it takes to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, millennial, but sorry.
Um, absolutely. So, I had a question from a viewer from Discord who said that um who was wondering what interactions you had with Liz Wheeler from One American News, and what your thoughts are on that.
Who?
Liz Wheeler, I think she's one of the
I
correspondents from.
don't know her.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, yeah. She used to work with One American News. She had a program called Point, and I never actually went on that show
right,
while she was the host of it. I went on the show several times, left, but I didn't get a chance to interact with her. I think she's off the so I'm on the east. I think she's off the west coast. One American News office.
yeah, yeah,
So California, and I don't really like to step foot in that. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, I have a question for you. What what would you hold on, let me actually bring it up because I don't necessarily remember it. It's on a Google Doc. I'm sorry. Um,
It's
so,
okay.
what kind of difficulties were you faced with as an immigrant? And could you talk a little bit more about your history in Brazil and different obstacles that you faced coming to America?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Um, so there's that's a big answer, but I think that um in Brazil, I sort of have this opinion or this experience, this personal experience of what it is to have a government that you're so dependent on that you don't really understand the difference between, capitalism and socialism because everything comes from the government. Um, so in the article in my bio, which I think everybody should go and take a look at it. The city that I come from is its main source of income is tourism, which means it's a poor place. Um,
right,
as we have violence, you know, rates going up, you have less and less tourism. And so there aren't, or that there weren't at the time, I'm not as sure right now, but there weren't a whole lot of, I haven't been back, there weren't a whole lot of big employers, like how here you have big
right.
banks and big companies. There weren't
Yes,
any
yeah,
big headquarters. The only ones that were giving you some sort of possibility of a career were the government institutions. So
yeah,
um, my mother got on their bad side because she was an attorney for the opposing party, and that did not go well because they remembered, they were very vindictive. They wanted to put their own people in, and my mother was not anywhere. So it's sort of like, okay, if the government is the biggest employer, where are you going to go to find job next? And it's a very difficult situation throughout. We had to deal with a lot of, the difficulties of living like that. They are exponentially worse when you are in poverty. So let's say there's a lot of violence, but it could be different for people depending on whether you have the ability to buy an armored car, which a lot of people there do have armored cars. Like they have, the rich people, the folks like that, they have to have it. And it's not, over here, we think of it as like you won't see a politician going around anywhere without an armored car. Their personal cars are armored. The rich people have armored cars. I didn't even have, I needed to go, I needed to walk. And so if you're talking about the levels of violence that you suffer from inside an armored car versus the levels of violence that you suffer from having to walk, 20 blocks through all sorts of slums and things like that as a little girl,
yeah,
those are different things. And so we had sort of like two types of um, realities. We had the super rich, which basically just enjoyed whatever it is that they could off our backs, right? So if they wanted to go to a nightclub, if they wanted to go shopping, whatever it is that they wanted to do, there was sort of like a market to cater to them, and there was the rest of us. So
right.
I,
It it's sort of like the
my brother and
picture.
I just,
Oh, go ahead. Uh,
no, you're saying?
it's sort of like the picture where they say like this is what it's like under capitalism, but it's really the what it's like under like favelas and stuff. They have like the super rich under a gated community, and then like all these small like houses like in like a ghettoized area outside of the gated community. right? And like people
Mhm.
repost that and they say like this is capitalism, and it's actually like very documented, that like very like well documented, that this is what happens in Venezuela and in Brazil and different places like that. So it's like it's very it
Capitalism is like to me a
right,
natural state
right.
versus communism is forced. And when you try to force millions of people to do something, there's always going to be somebody who's going to try to take advantage of the system. Like for example,
Yeah,
a friend of mine, she was sick, and we wanted to and there's there, which is amazing, right? We have free healthcare, yay. We had to stand in line in a queue that would go around like blocks around the hospital.
yeah,
The ground, there's no for people. There's always people who are going to join in the system just so they can take advantage. They can, you know, when you have it in a way that anyone can take advantage of it, people will take advantage of it. So decentralizing the borders is the only way to make sure that we maintain some sort of um,
absolutely,
honest system, trying as close as possible to a natural state versus something that's made up and forced upon us.
right.
And yeah, I mean, back just to, I guess, finish my thoughts on that.
Yeah,
Back then, my brother and I were working. Even as kids, we were working. We're working two jobs. We're going to school, and working two jobs. We're like just all of that just to barely even scrape by. So
yeah,
it's not something that I want to see people here in America go through, but I guess it's not here, you know.
um so what worries you most about the political atmosphere of America?
What was that?
Oh, what worries you most about the political atmosphere of America?
Um, I think that folks have been too brainwashed to like I came here and I'm like screaming to the top of my lungs. Listen, guys, this is a bad idea. I just came from there. I literally just got off the boat. Don't
Yeah,
do this. And then there's a whole group of people that come from like China, from Soviet Union, from former Soviet Union, from Venezuela, from all sorts of different places, Nicaragua, whatever, Cuba, and they're all like screaming to the top of their lungs, "Don't do this! Don't do this!"
yeah,
But they don't care. People here don't care. They just want to do whatever it is that they have been brainwashed to do through
right,
academia, through the media, through the mainstream news. And so it's very hard to like decondition all of these years and years of brainwashing of people. I think that
yeah,
culture plays a big factor. Um, and I think we're winning. I think we're doing a good job finally, but it hasn't been as easy and straightforward as I once hoped.
right. Um, so have you ever read Murray Rothbard? No.
No, no. I'm really bad with those things, you know. I'm like
Yeah,
people like the way that they see all the stuff that I went through and stuff like that, they're like, "Oh, that's awesome. You're such a fighter." But the way that I see it,
yeah,
like I've already dealt with enough of that that I just want to sit at home and watch Dragon Ball. Like
Yeah, I could.
like when you asked me about Elon Musk, it's like
Right.
I've seen enough to have a little bit of an opinion, gone deep enough to like, to me it's like Dragon Ball takes priority
Right.
over that. Only something
Yeah.
like very
Of course.
pressing, like the Hunter Biden laptop and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 It's like it's you're I can't think of I can't the word just came to me right now, but it's your personal preference, your leisure time is what is much more important. So like of course, yeah, like everyone like
Yeah,
yeah, it's and that's completely that's like that's something that's like that's completely understandable after someone goes
I don't
through
know why
like
I'm so sleepy.
after someone goes through something as intense and terrible as that, and then they come to America to escape it, um, like I would only assume that you would want to focus more on leisure time than like whatever world news is happening, right? Like it doesn't matter like I think the majority of
Right.
Americans don't really feel that involved in Ukraine, even if they'll like virtue signal on their profiles like with a Ukrainian flag or something. They don't really care as much as they initially like will um claim to have cared.
To the people that are just tuning in,
Right.
I have recently cut my bangs, so if it's triggering your OCD, deal with it. I'm just trying to figure out how, you know. Did you hear that? It was my cat screaming. He's gonna probably
Oh,
come over here and start screaming.
oh no, I can't hear that. No.
So, to comment on what you just said. Okay, let me know when you start hearing his screams, because when
Oh,
he
I
starts, he
did. I
doesn't
just
stop.
heard it. Yeah,
You did?
yeah,
Um, so okay, so the way that I see politics is like a hobby, but at the
right.
same time, I see it as sort of like an obligation. So, shut up, Roscoe. Um, so I see it as sort of like a charitable mission sort of thing. Like, you know, when people go volunteer or whatever, I like to do my public service this way. Um, but not necessarily like I'm not a very, whenever I move to the politics anymore. I don't have to deal with all of this anymore. I can just live my life and just not have to worry about, who's in office, who's doing this, who's doing that, etc.
Right. Right.
So, but that didn't turn out to be reality, right? I eventually got to the point where I felt like I had to start saying something, had to start getting involved. I'm not even a person. I'm just, very like, I don't know, like all this trauma, all this stuff that has happened to me has made me sort of like very introspective. And shut up, kitty. Um, next thing he's gonna do is he's gonna jump up here in front of the camera. Um, but here he is. So
Hello, Roscoe.
shush. Um, get over here. Get up here. Good kitty. Look here. I'm telling you.
Aw.
Do you wanna be on camera? Do you wanna be on camera? So I don't like being around people. I like playing video games and watching cartoons and stuff like that.
Right.
But I have to put myself out there, and I have to have like sort of a social media presence, and I have
Yeah.
to go on these events and talk to people and talk to an audience. And that's not sort of what I want to do with my time. Maybe somebody wants to do that because they like having followers on social media or they
Right.
like the clout or whatever. But to me, that's sort of like the whole time that I'm driving over there, I'm thinking, I can't wait to be driving back. I can't wait until this is over. People are talking to me, and my mind is sort of like
Yeah.
blank. And I'm like, that's crazy. And I had no idea what they just said. Because
Yeah.
I just it's it's not something that interests me. I'm not,
Right.
but it's something that I feel like I have the obligation to do because I have a lot of experience, because I have a lot of skills that can be
Mhm.
used. So I have skills to help our country. So I might as well just, do it,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yes, mommy, that makes sense. That makes all the sense.
So, you mentioned previously that you were into crypto a lot. Do you want to talk more about that?
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Let's, Roscoe's claw is like stuck on my. Here, let me. Good boy. Okay. Sure. Okay. Go, go, go. You see that? This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Sometimes I start screaming at like 4 in the morning.
yeah.
So he starts screaming to come back in. And there's all these cables and he's just going through them.
Yeah.
I think that going in the theme of like decentralizing, um, I think that if we're gonna beat the system, if we're going to
Right.
collapse this current system, then there's no better place to start than the financial side of things, the economic side of things.
Right.
But time um, that a lot of people are afraid of. And so what the current system is doing is it's taking advantage of people's um, and they're building systems very similar to what we actually currently already have. And to me, it's genuine. It's like add something completely new and not, take a little bit here, a little bit there from what we already have. What we already have is corrupt and you take a little bit of time to understand, you know, a little bit more about, I think, first of all, the concepts, the theoretical kind of the currency, like um, what is the value behind a certain coin? What can it do? It's not just that it goes up and it goes down, like
Right.
a share in the stock market, whatever.
Of course. Yeah. Like, are
It's
there
like, what
real
is this
people?
token
Right.
bring?
Is like, are there real people making real products behind the scenes, right? Like not just is this a coin that like somebody introduced and said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's gonna go to the moon, like something like that's actually real and like tangible, like some sort of
Yeah, a
like
lot of people don't understand that. Go ahead. I cut you off.
some sort of like cryptographic product, right? Like there's a lot of like military technology and stuff in the crypto market and stuff. I've done a lot of research myself. I've invested a little bit. I made some here, lost some here. But a lot of the times when I did lose, I didn't do enough research, obviously. So, and I found out too little, too late that like
Yeah.
the coin was being discontinued or something, and you know. But
Shut up.
go ahead. It's
I see. I have right in front of me. I have a huge mirror, and
oh
I can see the front door through this mirror. And I
yeah.
just see Roscoe like going with his paw, trying to open the door at all costs. Come here, kitty. Get over here. Just stop screaming. So sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's okay. Uh,
Over here. Come on.
I actually think the more times that the cat is in the video, the more people are going to watch the video. I think. A lot of people on the server really enjoy cats, so I'll make it I'll tell a lot of the people that like all the people on the server that that the cat is featured on the server, you know, and then like I know at least like four different users that'll tune in because of that, and that's just the four that I know. There's more than that.
Come over here. Come over here. Come over here. He's saying that people want to see you. Good boy. Good boy. Hi everybody. Hi. Okay, next question.
All right. So what was it like growing up in Brazil? You mentioned that you had to walk through a lot of like favelas and stuff and like poorer areas. I'm not sure if it was exactly favelas, but like poorer neighborhoods and things. And it just
Yeah.
um it wasn't like exactly ideal, obviously. So it sounds
It
terrible.
was well, it was terrible mostly during my teen years because um
Right.
so the city I come from has higher violence levels than many war zones. Um it's sort of like a very much hostile environment to be in.
Yeah.
Um my early childhood was good, sort of like you see things degrading with time. So like one of the things that I sort of like my trigger to get involved in politics there um, was that every New Year's I was like, "Up, this is a new year. Hopefully things will get better. Things, will will be better this year." Like I didn't understand
Right.
what was wrong. I just hoped that the new year was going to bring new things, positive things, and things are going to change. But
Right.
things would only get exponentially worse. And then I'll talk to other people, and they would say, even before you were, like when I was a kid, it was much better. Like when I was a kid, I could walk around the streets and nothing could happen. Nobody would be stealing, nobody be killing, nobody would, you know. Now it's different, and then every
Yeah.
year is getting worse. So that's what triggered me to start trying to understand why exactly it's getting worse. Because just wishing that things would get better isn't making things get better.
Right.
Um, so I just, as far as when I left there, um, things were just still getting worse. The I don't really like to sort of follow up with a lot of stuff from my hometown. But I do get caught up in it because my family still lives there, so I do get updates as on a need to know sort of basis. And then we'll have things like um, the president is sending the full National Guard to my state to try to pacify the city because it's run out of control. It's sort of like complete chaos and etc. The criminals are running the city,
Right.
and it's what happens when you have socialism, right? You have people who obey the system, who go through the system, and those people are um, sucked out of their life energy. all money they make, all the wealth that they produce gets drained out of them into the system. And so the wheel keeps churning and people keep falling off, but it doesn't matter. It just keeps churning, right? It's like a
Right.
machine. And if your blood is greasing the machine, then the system doesn't care about you. But we have people on the outside who realize F the system, right? Those people who don't really care to like pay taxes, they don't really care to follow the law, they don't really care to do
Right.
any of that.
And
uh,
so
they
the
thrive.
taxpayers end up paying the brunt for those people and end up like putting them in jail, giving them food, all that sort of stuff, or not even that, just giving them a street to like walk on.
Yeah, we basically just pay for everything, and then these people, they're thriving, they're robbing, they're killing, they're doing
Yeah,
whatever it is that they can. They're ruling, like sort of like Gotham City, where the
yeah,
bad guys run
yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah. And the only people that could possibly save it are like the politicians and the very rich, and the politicians don't do a lot, and the very rich aren't like usually helping. And I can see the analogy.
They're all part of it. They're all part of it. It's like they pretend, oh, we're fighting crime. No, you're not. You're literally a part of it. You're
Right.
literally like that's the crime HQ is your second home. Like it's just a lot of the times the people who get into office are people who are known in the criminal scene because they have money, they have also influence. It's everyday people get really crushed, and it's something that just gets worse, and we see that here in America in a way that like with the gas prices, right? um
Right.
People in DC, they don't really care about gas prices. They check the the drivers drive them around. They take airplanes, they take jets, they take whatever, the metro.
Yeah.
But the people who live in rural areas who have to drive to go to work, those people feel $7 a gallon, right?
Yeah.
And their salaries are not getting better. The inflation's getting worse. The prices of commodities are going up, and it's like, go.
Hello, Roscoe.
Hello. Look at this kitty cat. How fatty he is.
Oh.
You want to stay in mommy's lap? You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably gonna get clawed to the face any minute now.
Well, I'm happy that you're here and living the American dream. That's what matters.
Go, go.
Um.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here as well. Hopefully, we'll fix things before they get out of control. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm working for.
Right. Yeah. I heard Bolsonaro actually got elected again, or is going to get elected again, according to the polling. I'm not sure if he actually did yet, but so that's some
Hopefully.
good news. Yeah, of course. Yeah, because the other his opponent, I think, is a socialist, right? Yeah, the next, yeah, yeah. I actually know someone from Brazil, and yeah, they talk about it every so often. On over Discord, and they say, yeah, like I really hope that Bolsonaro is gonna win. And he's like, he follows it like very closely because he still lives there, but he lives in a nicer area. So, but yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Um, so you mentioned that your district is one of the like has a worse crime rate that like, has a worse um murder rate than war zones, right? Um, c- could you I don't want like like what city it is it, but what state is it in, right? Because that's probably too much information. I don't want to.
It's in the Northeast.
Oh, okay.
It's in the Northeast.
On the
A
it's on the
lot of the
coast, right?
Northeast cities, they are,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like you have the north, and to the left you have the Amazon, and to
Right.
the right you have the coast that
Right.
meets the ocean. Um, a lot of the cities, the major city area, are very, very violent because the soil is able to plant anything. We have big droughts, so it's sort of like a desert-like type of scenario where it's
Yeah.
the whole region. It's very hard to raise cattle, to do all of these things that would um, bring a region past initial levels of wealth and then progress from there. We were always just trying to deal with the drought, with the mass exodus of people trying to go to other states to see if they can survive there. So the whole region is very violent. There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of you know scarcity when it comes to. It's sort of why you can see more pronounced all the impacts of socialism. You can
Right.
see it like if you go towards more richer areas, you're still going to see it, but it's not going to get to a certain point where we were at that moment. Like it's not going to spread out evenly.
Yeah.
As to where they're like as to like they're going to feel the pain a little bit later. They're going to feel the pain a month from now. We're feeling the pain now. We're feeling all the worst now because we're Russian. But these folks, they have it. So maybe they can stand to deal with it for another year. And that's the thing with liberals, especially here. It's like you see a lot of them are coddled. They don't just college kids who get supported by their parents. So until the impacts of these policies actually reach them, it's gonna be a little while. We, the working class, we're feeling the impacts right now. They're not. So they're
Yeah.
gonna keep pushing until one day, like by the time they do feel the impact, the whole of society would be in shambles already. So
Yeah.
I want to try to change things before things get bad for the people who are actually pushing for these policies.
Right.
Hopefully, I'll do it. We won't. We'll see. Still
Yeah.
developing, ongoing effort.
All right. Um. Yeah. Um. uh, what do you see in the future for Brazil?
Um, I think that we've gone through the pains
Yeah.
that we are onto these people. The fact that Bolsonaro got elected is a great proof of it. Um,
Right.
and it's not because they didn't use their tricks, right?
Mhm.
They freaking stabbed them in. Like they paid somebody to stab him. And he was on the campaign trail, he got stabbed in the gut. They used every trick in the book to try to get him to lose. But yet the people, riled up in such a strong. You have to do this now. You spend the whole afternoon sleeping. Don't you come over here? You're just screaming, trying to get out of here. You heard him screaming, right?
Yeah, I
Like
did.
he needed to get out of here. And
Yeah.
then now he's back here. Maybe his girlfriend is outside. That's why he wants to go out. But yeah,
I'll mention Roscoe the Cat in the description of the video.
Hmm.
I'll be
Thank
sure
you.
to.
He appreciates it. He's very um social kitty cat.
Yeah.
You know what my husband likes to do?
Hmm.
Because he's so vocal, he screams all the time for no reason. And so my husband puts the bed covers over him, and that pisses him off, and he starts screaming. And then he holds his back and just shakes it a little bit. And as he's screaming, he's also cutting because he's being, shaken, shook, whatever. And then it sounds like a ghost screaming. I have to
Yeah.
record that one time and post it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Over here, come over here, come over here. You know
So
you want cuddles.
I guess I mean we don't really
Maybe I can make him do that.
yeah.
Wait, calm down, Rustin. Not the people.
I don't have any more
Gotcha.
political questions, but I guess we could ask some general questions, right? Like
Okay.
do you have a favorite movie and what is it?
Mulan.
Mulan?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, my little sister enjoys Mulan a lot. She loves watching it actually.
I have to. I
She
can't
likes all the
see
princess
this.
movies. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I could. I just couldn't see if his butthole was on camera because like your camera view is right where
Oh yeah,
his butt
I didn't
was.
see that at all. I didn't see it. It didn't uh
I like Mulan a lot. I think that she had
yeah.
um a bad situation in front of her, and she didn't like it one bit, but she knew that she had to do what she had to do, and so she just powered through it. And like as things get worse, she's still powering through it. So I like that. I think that's um there's a guy who makes heavy metal versions of songs, and
Oh
one of
yeah.
my favorites is uh Make a Man Out of You in heavy metal version.
Yeah. Yeah. I think is it Mia Leo Machiavelli or something? Machiavelli?
I don't know. I thought it was Dan something.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Well,
know.
I might be thinking of a different person. I remember hearing like some heavy metal version of like some popular music from this other person, but it's probably a completely different person. There's a lot of different heavy metal people, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah. I like to consider myself an audiophile, right? What's your favorite music? Um, and why do you like it?
I like metal.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what happened? Am I still on
Yeah,
camera?
it turned off the camera. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. Just
That's fine.
well, I think it's the cable wasn't okay.
Oh, okay.
Got
Right.
it.
Um, yeah. So you like metal? Any song in particular that stands out?
My favorite band is probably Sonata Arctica, and then Nightwish. There's Stratovarius, but they're no longer together.
Yeah.
Um, Sort of like Finnish bands, Finnish metal bands. You don't really ask me why. Um, I I'm not a big fan of Katy Perry, but let's see. I like Britney a little bit. I like Kesha a lot. Um, People know about Kesha. They don't know about Finnish metal band. Nobody even probably knows where Finland is. Shut up, TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Finnish metal bands are actually really good. I've heard a few songs that some people would describe as screamo, but I still think it's metal, right? It's still metal. It's just
Hmm.
like it's like the heavy guitar and then the guy screaming into the microphone. And you hear the screaming like intensely. It's really
Yeah,
good.
no,
It's
you should listen to Nightwish. It's very good.
Nightwish. All right. I'll give it a listen.
Cool.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I hope that your viewers like talking to me and with
Oh,
Roscoe.
yeah.
And just feel free to have me back whenever you want me to come back. Like at this time, like Thursday, end of the day, I'm like very slow and sleepy, so probably not the best
Right.
enthusiastic guest. But you should see me on Monday mornings. I'm really pumped up. Like I'm
Yeah.
fucking. Sorry, I use the F bomb.
That's
Um,
fine.
I'm on Monday mornings. I'm like impossible. Like
Yeah.
I get like I start like my jaw locks and it doesn't unlock until like Wednesday.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I should probably let Roscoe out.
all right. Well, it was fantastic to have you on. I will definitely consider having you on again. That was really just that was great. It was a great AMA.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to
I
all your
hope that I
viewers.
have yeah. Uh, well, one of them is Michael. I think another one is NC or something like Nico or something. Um, right. It's in the chat. It's in the um. But yeah.
This light makes my teeth look yellow. Sorry. I'm just like I haven't been on an interview in like forever. It's
Right.
just, focusing on taking care of my home issues that I have going on. So now I have a
Right.
new haircut, I have new lights. I'm like, what's happening?
Right. So I'm gonna it was fantastic having you on, and I and for everyone who had just tuned in, the stream is gonna end in probably 10 seconds or so, and this was Julia's song. She's a great guest, really good time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye.